Now, everybody's favorite game to talk about right now is Sucker Punch's Ghost of Tsushima, which takes the idea of knowledge creation and discovery in a different direction. Come check out how. Games are set up pretty specifically. There are rules and there are win conditions. Follow the rules and you win. The win conditions for Ghosts are to free Tsushima Island from the Mongols, and specifically to defeat Khotun Khan, their leader. The rules then are the structures in which you can achieve those win conditions. Jin is an incredible sword fighter and a proto-ninja. He can fight and sneak, and your ability to use those skills in different scenarios determines your success. Behind all of that is the story, the narrative, or in this case, many stories. These stories give us the framework with which to understand the rules and the win conditions. Stories are not necessary, as is seen with early games like Pac-Man or Duck Hunt or today's Beat Saber for that matter. But stories do help us understand more than just the rules and the win condition. As Candace said, narratives provide a context for player action, while game mechanics are a testing ground where players can try out strategies for success within their environment as defined by the game's win condition. In the case of Ghost, it also helps us understand a secondary through line, or theme, with which to view this world and better understand our own world. So, what do I mean? Well, it's simple. Not only are you, Jin, the character, trying to liberate Tsushima, protect mainland Japan, and eliminate the threat posed by Khotun Khan, you are also trying to preserve and maintain Japanese feudal culture.
無理です。ご本尊と法華経を守らねば。僧の命より価値あるものか。俺だけでは救えぬぞ。何百年もの教えが詰まった寺ですよ。見捨てられません。
Think about all the other things you can do in this game. Write haikus, complete tales of Tsushima or mythic tales, which is essentially the creation of stories. You honor shrines to foxes and to gods, and you take leisure time in hot springs. All of these activities are encouraged by the random people you run into along your journey. Every one of these helps you gain pieces that aid your pursuit of the win condition, and by placing the burden of spreading that message to the game's inhabitants, rather than a tutorial menu, for instance, it makes the whole thing feel authentic and natural. A less obvious example of this would be the robust photo mode that has been blowing up my Twitter feed for the past week. What more are photos than preservation of a moment, of a piece of something before it is gone? In this way, the player becomes part of that preservation outside of playing as Jin, which is pretty cool. But these are also pieces of a heritage under threat after an invasion by a hostile foreign country. Also important is that part of this story is about the preservation of honor, of a way of life, and of society. As Jin begins his story, he has to make a choice to fight dishonorably against an enemy he doesn't understand, according to his samurai upbringing. This is a threat to his understanding of the world. His adjustment is the adjustment of all the characters. This is a country wrestling with itself in the face of an invasion. In this way, the win conditions extend well beyond winning back the island and the country, but also to retaining traditions in the face of extinction. But the game takes its historical liberties, and from this liberty we lose the lesson. It wasn't a lone samurai or a group of people from all different rungs of the social ladder that pushed the Mongols back. It was a tsunami. In fact, it was two tsunamis, known as kamikaze, or divine wind. And if you're paying attention, Jin is guided by divine wind the whole game. He wouldn't be able to do anything in this game without that wind, or by stealing everything in sight. In the case of Ghosts, the story brings together many different people from all different social rungs, and through there is change in understanding of people of themselves for their better. But a large unifying event like that didn't happen in actual history, and much of the progress is at the expense of the material wealth of those who don't have much to begin with. The history of Japan continues in this way for another 300 years, and some may argue that until 1945. In many ways, the themes of Ghost are also true for the United States, or what we want to believe about the United States. According to our own mythology and legends, we've had heroes, and we are who we are because of these heroes. But the heroes we worship are often at the expense of those who have been disenfranchised, enslaved, or minoritized in some way. The culture and traditions many in the US fight to preserve are marked by the same social inequality and dehumanization we see boil to the surface in this game. Jin, as a hero, is no more real than the heroes other countries raise to hero status or make monuments to, because they were not heroic for everyone. They were not even heroic for most. So then, what are we actually fighting to preserve? This has been brought to the fore in the US as the fight to keep Andrew Jackson on the $20 bill continues, as the battle over Confederate monuments continues, and questions over the heroism of the founding fathers in light of their enslavement of Africans persists. The truth is there, but the mythology gets in the way. In the game, those people get the fictional knowledge and discovery. But when we believe the fiction to be true, knowledge and discovery are slow to become just. Thanks for stopping by. Until next time.